Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. I think it's pretty obvious that we are not in Louisiana right now. We are in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. So why are we here? For the first time ever, San Juan hosted the American Farm Bureau Federation's annual meeting. This was the organization's 104th convention. More than 50 Louisiana Farm Bureau members made the trip down to this tropical island to network with their counterparts in other states, learn about issues facing agriculture, and set farm policy positions for the coming year. Louisiana Farm Bureau President Jim Harper walked the stage during the opening general session of the convention. He says meetings like this one are important, especially as Congress prepares to debate a new farm bill.
The main thing we want to see is a similar program that we have now. It's not real broke, it doesn't need a lot of fixing, and we would like to see it tweaked, maybe increase some of the support prices, and pretty well keep what we have.
One of the keynote speakers at the convention was Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, who helped close out the convention on Monday. After a year of drought, torrential rain, and thin margins, many farmers from Louisiana were naturally curious about what approach this department would take with both future disaster plans and policy in the upcoming farm bill. Vilsack said he would like to see more protections for farmers to stay in business, and that the USDA was already working to expedite payments for current programs.
What we need to talk about is not necessarily programs, but problems. And I think the problem we need to address with reference to disaster is understanding the need for flexibility so that you can respond adequately to regional differences.
Currently, 11 parishes have been declared primary disaster areas by the USDA from weather-related issues in 2022. More than 30 contiguous parishes and counties will also qualify for aid, which combined accounts for about 2/3 of Louisiana. Well, right across the bay from Old San Juan is an old familiar brand, Casa Bacardi. The internationally known rum is headquartered here in Puerto Rico after being exiled from Cuba in 1960. TWILA's Neil Melanson took the tough assignment to tour the facility and found not only a rich-tasting rum, but a rich tradition dating back more than 150 years.
It's one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Bacardi, or as it's called here, Bacardi, is known as a fun-loving brand with the fruit bat logo featured prominently on its rum. While most of the manufacturing occurs here, Bacardi representative Arnaldo Rosario says it has a worldwide reach.
It's big. You know, we have facilities over in Mexico, which we do around 13% of our production, and then we finish that off with 1% in India, in Mumbai, India. But we have bottling facilities in Italy. We have some facilities, or better yet, some ambassadors over in Costa Rica, which I met recently.
Despite that reach, Bacardi is still family-owned. That's why this 127-acre facility isn't a corporate headquarters, but known as Casa Bacardi.
One of the second oldest family-owned businesses in the world. Like I said before, we have members of the sixth and seventh generation, but I think the 8th and 9th are currently starting to be more involved with the family, and they come quite a lot.
The rum has a long history. Dom Bacardi founded the brand in Cuba and gained international fame quickly. In fact, this gold medal with the famous Bacardi bat was awarded from the Queen of Spain herself. In 1960, the Cuban government seized the brand, but they safely relocated the original yeast to its new home here.
When we moved over to Cataño, Puerto Rico, to, like I said before, that 127 acres of rum paradise. And it is important. It is very significant in our history because since they moved over production over here, a lot of that part of the history of Cuba has kind of diluted down, and now it's known for being a Puerto Rican rum.
And of course, it wouldn't be rum without sugar. Sadly, most of Puerto Rico's sugarcane production is gone, but they stay loyal to the original crop it came from.
We need sugarcane to make rum. You can make vodka from potatoes, from grains, from anything like that. But to make rum, you need to use sugarcane. Any part of it. You can use the sugarcane juice, the guarapo, or like we do over here, the molasses, which sadly we don't get from Puerto Rico because production of sugarcane ended around the 1900s in Puerto Rico. So now we get them, one of the molasses from Guatemala, then the other part from Dominican Republic.
More than 160,000 liters of rum are made from cane each day here. How does it taste? Well, we'll leave that up to Louisiana rum expert Wendell Miley here.
It's good.
Go.
definitely.
How is that, Wendell?
Wonderful.
As you can see, the famous Bacardi bat logo is all over this 127-acre campus here, and indeed all over San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's no surprise the rum is probably the island's most famous export, and yet, even with all that worldwide reach, the family that runs it continues its quality generation after generation. Reporting from San Juan, I'm Neil Melanson.
Thanks, Neil. Real tough job you have there. While rum is one of the most famous exports of Puerto Rico, when it comes to agriculture, some of the more popular crops are citrus and fruits, which we'll show you a little bit later. Coffee is another, and though it has declined over the past couple of decades, here on the island it is still a staple in the mountains of Puerto Rico. This week, TWILA's Karl shows us all that goes into bringing us the tasty energy in our morning cup of joe.
On this beautiful mountainside in Puerto Rico is Sandra Farms, named to honor Sandra Gonzalez. Now this is Israel, Sandra's husband, who is living his lifelong dream owning this coffee farm.
I love farming, that is true, since I was about 6 years old. I love it. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's part of me in a sense. So, and I know that we can produce a very, very top-notch coffee here.
Though this mountain environment is ideal for growing coffee, the island of Puerto Rico is often struck by disaster. However, Gonzalez says what all farmers say: you persevere.
If you do what you do here, either you give up or you persevere, find ways. So we hope we can find ways.
This farm has also been on the receiving end of some great relief programs from the USDA. Following one major storm, the farm lost all income, and they were paying workers with their own Social Security income. Gonzalez says without that aid, this farm would not still be in production.
They gave us $125,000. We still have a little of that money. You know, so how long would we have gone with our Social Security income? Not very long at all. For us, totally the whole difference.
Even with federal disaster programs, Gonzalez has yet another obstacle. He cannot run this farm without foreign labor coming to help harvest the crop.
Just can't do it. Who's gonna maintain the farm? Who's going to pick the coffee? They're not here. They left because we don't have a climate of opportunity here.
After the coffee is picked, processed, and roasted, it makes its way from a bag to a grinder and into a cup of coffee. Now, how was it? I must say, as someone who typically supports the sugar and dairy industry with every cup of coffee I drink, I've never had a better cup of coffee in my life. And I'm sure the scenery didn't hurt the experience. Reporting from Adjuntas, Puerto Rico, I'm Karl for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Now, the hospitality we experienced at Sandra Farms was second to none, and the coffee, muy bueno. If you'd like to get some delivered directly to your door, visit our website at twilatv.org. We're also going to share some information and some pictures on our Facebook page, and maybe have a giveaway too, so be sure to like and share some things from there as well. The climate that makes Puerto Rico perfect for growing coffee also makes it perfect for crop research. Louisiana rice breeders send seeds to the southwestern side of the island, where researchers here can grow 2 generations of the plant in just 1 year. A group of Louisiana rice farmers had the chance to tour this unique research station. The landscape may be unfamiliar to these Louisiana rice farmers, but the crop is one they know very well. Each green shoot in this flooded field represents the future of the Louisiana rice industry. That's because the LSU Ag Center, along with 4 other land-grant universities and the USDA, use the Estación Experimental Agrícola de Lajas in southwestern Puerto Rico to develop new varieties of rice. Anthony Rivera is the station's administrator and says this relationship with LSU started in 1972.
LSU started here with a small test with rice, and then it's been a relationship. Every year they send the seed, and they do 2 generations of rice here, so they can expedite the release of those seeds, of those varieties.
The weather in Puerto Rico allows growers to get 2 generations of rice plants in 1 year, double what researchers in Louisiana can do. Louisiana Rice Research Board Chairman Richard Fontenot says he's wanted to come here for quite a long time.
It's almost a dream come true. We've been talking about our nursery out here in Puerto Rico from different rice breeders over the years. In the 20+ years I've been on the Rice Research Board, and to finally see it, it's the reality that's really setting in. Just to see what some of our partners are doing in Puerto Rico to provide our Louisiana rice growers the fastest developmental process we can to get varieties to market that are coming out of our research station in Crowley.
It's really a great experience to be here and see where this work is done.
Louisiana Farm Bureau President Jim Harper grows rice on his farm in Cheneyville.
It makes me thankful and proud of the rice industry in Louisiana that farmers are donating money to have this research done to improve the varieties that are planted in the state.
As Harper just said, it's the farmers' money that pays for this research, money generated by the Louisiana Rice Checkoff Program.
We're able to get 2 crops of rice grown here, go through many lines in the varietal development at this location that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And without the rice checkoff dollars that our producers supply to our Rice Research Board, this would not be available to us.
It's more of a play than a loan.
Farmers like Alan McLean of Vermilion Parish plant the rice varieties developed by the LSU Ag Center. He says he's glad he had the chance to see this research station firsthand.
It's weird to see it, how it's done in between the mountains and the valley around here with just the way the water flows and just the dedication that people have for the rice industry.
I feel really proud when I stand here and I look and I see LSU's got 2 of the most premier lots over here on this station. That shows the cooperative endeavors that we've had with this facility for years. Dr. Steve Linskin initiated a lot of this program and built it up, and now we have Dr. Adam Famosa has stepped in and really captured a lot of opportunity here and a lot of our variety developments that are coming out of our station in Crowley. And to see LSU on the forefront and being a big player of this, I feel really proud of what we're doing and how we represent our Louisiana growers.
Again, much of the money that funds this research is provided by farmers through the Rice Checkoff and the Louisiana Rice Research Board. In the end, that research ends up right where we enjoy it, on our table with every meal. The Puerto Rican weather that we spoke of earlier, yeah, it's kind of hot and I'm starting to sweat a little bit, but that's okay. It has a lot of positives like growing coffee and aiding in research, but there are also some negatives. Just like Louisiana, Puerto Rico deals with hurricanes. In fact, there are places where you still see damage from Hurricane Maria in 2017 and last year's Hurricane Fiona. The president of Puerto Rico Farm Bureau, Hector Cordero, greeted farmers and ranchers in a workshop describing those struggles. He says the hurricanes that impact this island make for a stressful place to farm, and recovery can be quite difficult.
Last year we had Fiona. Fiona was a Category 1 hurricane, so we passed and we recovered in less than 2 or 3 weeks. Maria took also more than, right now we are part of the island that is in recovery, especially those people from the coffee sector, because coffee plantation take 4 years to grow. So right now we are in the process of recovery from Maria in that area. So it's stressful.
Natural disasters are not the only source of stress for farmers. Markets, input prices, and consumer trends add to what makes farming one of the most stressful jobs. Another workshop at the convention addressed that issue head on. Farm couple Matt and Alicia Berry have been very open about the way mental health struggles affected them and their family.
And it's not a woe is me thing. I don't do it because it's, I want something. I do it because these are my peers and these are the ones around me doing what I do. And the only people that can save us is us. I mean, we know what we're going through, right? So if we're going through it ourselves, more than likely our neighbor is too.
I never knew how critical it was for him to just see me in the mornings. I never knew that. Talk to him at lunch, I never knew that when he walked in the door, that's when he knew everything was going to be okay. Until just recently, and I don't think a lot of farm wives probably know that the role that they play and the tone that they set.
The Georgia Farm Bureau Foundation has done great work studying this issue and how farmers can combat farm stress. Of course, American Farm Bureau and Louisiana Farm Bureau have great resources as well. We'll link you to those over on our website at twilatv.org. The upcoming Farm Bill received the most attention among policy discussions at the American Farm Bureau Convention. A workshop devoted to the topic at convention had no fewer than 5 panelists. Dr. John Newton, a Republican chief economist for the Senate Ag Committee, was among them. He says one general concern to get the bill passed this year is not separating out the food and nutrition programs from the bill, which alone will likely add up to $1.12 trillion.
I think if you look at what we've done the last few years in terms of ad hoc disaster assistance, MFP, the CFAP programs, you've seen some deficiencies in the farm safety net. So we obviously know that they need to be enhanced, improved. And I think we're exploring with stakeholders what those improvements need to be. Whether it's more education about the tools that are available, increasing coverage levels that are available under crop insurance, getting more crops, increasing eligibility for specialty crops, or more education for livestock producers to know what types of tools are in the toolbox to help them, weather these adverse, weather events or deal with revenue losses or crop losses. We need to look at the quality adjustments that are in crop insurance. Did we see, increased damage to the soybeans? Did that line up with quality adjustments that were happening at the elevator? Those are all, the type of really surgical questions that we need in advance of the Farm Bill. What are things that growers want us to look at and investigate as we try to make improvements to this next Farm Bill? We've been meeting with farmers for, the better part of a year and a half, and, everyone that comes in talks about the high input costs, the high machinery costs, seed costs, fuel costs, fertilizer costs. So it's something that we've been following very closely, and I think we have seen the high commodity prices here recently. They have started to come down, and that's going to squeeze profit margins going into 2023 in a Farm Bill year. So it only highlights the importance of getting the Farm Bill done on time, and if we have the ability to make improvements to the safety net, help farmers and ranchers weather this downturn in prices that we might see. Well, I think we realize the importance of the nutrition program. I think it benefits the elderly, the children, but that's not to say that there can't be improvements to the nutrition title. And given that we're looking at a nutrition title that's going to be close to $1.2 trillion, I think there will be a lot of folks paying attention to it, looking to make improvements to it or make cuts to it, and that's something that we'll work with the other 3 corners on this Farm Bill.
Lawmakers have 9 months before the current Farm Bill expires on September 30th. Still to come on this special edition of TWILA from Puerto Rico, every dog has his day, and for one Louisiana dog, you chose to make his day. But first, what did visitors to the 104th annual meeting of the American Farm Bureau Federation think of Puerto Rican agriculture? We'll show you next. Thanks for staying with us as we continue this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture from Old San Juan in Puerto Rico. Now, the American Farm Bureau Federation Convention is what brought folks from across the country here, but this is one of the things that they come here to see. Forts like this are all around Old San Juan, and agriculture is also all around Puerto Rico. In fact, I found this coconut with milk inside, as you can hear. Found this just laying around out here at the fort. But for some Farm Bureau members, they went along on tours. Tammy Arnder shows us the kind of agriculture they saw as they had fun in Puerto Rico.
As you travel the main highway out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, you see the beautiful countryside. And about an hour and a half southwest of the capital city of this U.S. Commonwealth, you come to Santa Isabel, just a stone's throw from the Caribbean Sea. This is the location of the Finca Don Manuel Tropical Fruit Farm.
Coffee in the hills in the middle of the island, plantains, bananas, tropical fruits like papaya, pineapples, mangoes. You can see other fruits like yuca, ñame, batata, sweet potatoes.
This is the location of the Finca Don Manuel Tropical Fruit Farm.
My neighbor produces eggplants, watermelon, and honeydew.
Manuel farms mainly pineapples, plantains, and papayas. And this farm has its roots in the 1700s. He's even opened up his farm as an agritourism destination.
I explain all the agricultural methods that I practice and enjoy a good meal and see the cabins that is for Airbnb. And I hope that all the people that come here have the opportunity to learn about the Puerto Rican agriculture and the south part of the island.
So here on this farm, it is a plantation of papaya,
plantains, and pineapple. And they are actually renting and leasing the land from the folks who have the wind turbines, who allow them and encourage them to continue to farm on this land. Manuel not only let us peruse his plantains and pineapples up close, but we also got to drink some coconut water straight from the source, though you had to keep your distance while it was being opened. Natalie Roy, who was raised in New Hampshire but now lives in Madisonville, Louisiana, says it's been a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Like the amount of work that it takes to grow pineapple is amazing. Sometimes they get 4 pineapples out of one plant, not always, and on a good year, maybe 5. And it just really brings to light how much work it takes to produce this amazing food and fruit we get to consume, and oftentimes don't think about the work put into it.
In Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico, I'm Tammy Arender for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Tammy, her videographer Leo, and RFD did an amazing job covering the convention. We'll link you to some of their great work on our website at twilatv.org. Still to come on TWILA, the people have spoken, and what the people have said here in Puerto Rico is that a dog from Louisiana is a good dog. Good dog. The TWILA Boost is next. We continue our special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture from San Juan, Puerto Rico, with some uplifting news to give you just a little boost. We begin with a doggone great story. Check out this cutie right here. This is Case. He is a 4-year-old corgi who belongs to Kelsey and Amanda Douillon of Vermilion Parish. Not only is Case the main character of a children's book Amanda wrote titled Case and the Sugar Run, where this little pup teaches us all about how sugar gets from the field to our table, he's also the winner of the American Farm Bureau People's Choice Pup Award. Case garnered the most votes online, beating out 4 other dogs. For winning the competition, Case gets a year's supply of Purina Pro Plan dog food, a box of goodies from Nestle Purina, and well-deserved bragging rights. Good dog. You can learn more about the book and the award on twilatv.org. The sights and sounds around San Juan, Puerto Rico will lift anyone's spirits. Louisiana Farm Bureau members made their way around the entire island and shared some of their favorite pictures on social media. Take a look. That does it for this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture from Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Before we go, we'd like to thank some of the people who made this show possible. First, Israel and Sandra Gonzalez at Sandra Farms. The hospitality you showed us was absolutely incredible, and the pasteles you served us, muy delicioso. Anthony Rivera at the Agricultural Research Station in Lajas, thanks for giving us a tour and taking on probably a few more farmers than you planned. And also all of the staff at the American Farm Bureau Federation, thank you for making this yet another great convention. Now, the adventures do not end here. Our next show will be from the countries of Panama and Costa Rica. That's where the LSU Ag Center's Ag Leadership Class 17 is going for its international trip. From the Panama Canal to rice to pineapple, we're going to see everything Central America does to bring food and coffee to your table. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on those notifications. That way you know when we post something new. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us, and adios.